be your woman. Yes, I be your baby. Yes, I be whatever that you tell me when you're ready. Yes, I be your girl, forever your lady. You ain't never gotta worry, I'm down for you, baby. Best believe that when you need that, I'll provide that. You will always have it. I'll be on deck, keep it in check. When you need that, I'ma let you have it.
Beating the drum like dum diddy day. I like the dirty rhythm you play. I wanna hear you calling my name like, hey mama, mama, hey mama, mama. Banging the drum like dum diddy day. I know you want it in the worst way. I wanna hear you calling my name like, hey mama, mama, hey mama, mama.
Be my woman, girl. Be your man. Be my woman, girl. Be your man.
Yes, I do the cooking, yes, I do the cleaning. Plus I keep the nana real sweet for you.
A slight antifreeze leak here somewhere. We have to find out where that's coming from. Yeah, this car does not come with power brakes. This is one of the, I mean, that's pretty much unheard of these days, but in '67, you had to pay extra for an option, and this is the base model sedan. 283, so I mean, a slight upgrade from the base model, which had a 6-cylinder in it, but the smallest V8 they could put in it. Came with a 2-barrel carburetor, a 2-speed power glide transmission, and no power brakes, and of course no power windows, but I consider that a blessing because in '67 power windows always quit working within a year or two anyway. So, oh, so did power seats. Yeah, you get a car with power seats built in the '60s and they still work. Either somebody's overhauled it or it's a miracle car. This has the Turbo 350C, which is a version of the Turbo 350 that wasn't made for very long. They were primarily put in like Corvettes. And the C is for lockup torque converter, which basically means it takes the slippage. There's usually about 5 to 10% slip in your torque converter. The lockup removes that slip and it makes it more like a manual transmission where it's just a solid connection. Also gives you the equivalent, because you're reducing the slip, it's sort of like having a quarter of a gear or something less or up. You can feel it, and if I had a tach in here, when you looked at the tach, you'd see probably the revs would drop a couple hundred at 60 miles an hour when the torque converter locks up. So you get a little bit more top end, you get a little bit better gas mileage, and I don't know, a lot of people don't like them, but I think I put about 15,000 miles on this car since I dropped the new tranny in it. This car gets driven a lot more than I thought it would. I've got 30,000 miles on the odometer, which is 130,000, and it was like 110, I think, when we got it, and then 115-ish when the transmission that was in it said, I'm not doing this anymore. So we put in a rebuilt Turbo 350C with the Stage 1 shift kit, which basically means when it shifts, it hits pretty solid. This carburetor was on it when I bought the car. I got a hunch that if I spend money to change the carb, I am going to steal an idea from my son David here and get one of those fuel injector kits that go on in place of the carburetor. What is that, the Sniper? I'll look at the Edelbrock, but the Holly, the first one I looked at, and they look pretty slick. So if I'm going to drop money on a new carburetor, given that this one's works just fine, I think I'd probably go with something like that, and then just set this one aside in case I actually needed a carburetor. You know, like if an EMP blows up my Sniper.